we're talking about the theme of football right now, I want to talk about the new Falcons head coach. For those of you who don't know, Raheem Morris was hired as the first black head coach in the history of the Atlanta Falcons this week. I've been a Falcons fan my entire life. This is the first time we have ever had a black head coach in the history of the team. And technically, since Desmond Ritter still our starting quarterback as of right now, we have a black head coach, we have a black general manager, Terry Fontenot, and we have a black starting quarterback in Atlanta. This is something that we could only dream of years ago. And it's very important for Raheem Morris to understand something. I'm speaking directly to you, Raheem Morris. You are the coach because you are black. I do not care about qualifications. If I wanted somebody qualified, we would have got Bill Belichick. We support you because you are black. Make sure you remember that. The most important thing that you need to remember is that you are the Atlanta Falcons' black head coach. Black goes at the beginning of head coach. And the reason I want to point this out for Raheem Morris is if you remember when they introduced Todd Bowles, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They said, "Well, how do you feel about being a black head coach?" He says, "Well, I don't know if being black really matters. It's blah 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 blah." Some old Uncle Tom statement. I want to hear that. When they introduced Jared Mayo as the head coach up there in New England with Robert Kraft, they asked him the same question. He said, "Damn right, I'm black." And that's what I like to hear. That's what we need to hear out of Raheem. So I'm making sure that he understands right now. If you remember when they introduced the black head coach up at Duke, whatever his name was, he started talking about how important it was and how much he loves his white wife. Don't do that, Raheem. I'm not playing with you. I know you got a white wife. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bunny hopping here and there. Everybody does a little vacation in the snow from time to time. But you need to understand you are in Atlanta. If you come out here making some race neutral Tim Scott, Uncle Tom statement, you will lose the support of the Atlanta fan base almost immediately. Tim Scott hopped up there at the Trump rally this week talking about, "Oh, Massa Trump, I sure do love you." Don't do that. Don't do that, Raheem. I'm not playing with you. If you want to see people turn on you immediately, make sure that you remember where you came from, why we're supporting you, why we're behind you. And then also remember, you're going to have a duty as the black head coach, that you're now the head coach of black people in Atlanta. So whenever something black happens, they're going to ask you to speak out, and management's going to come to you and say, Raheem, would you mind making an Uncle Tom statement for us to calm the blacks down? Don't do it. Do not play around with that. Like, if there's a Kaepernick moment, you support black people. If there's a police shooting, you support black people. You be out there out front. Just remember, you have a duty and responsibility. I call it a black responsibility, because you have a duty as a black person that supersedes all other duties. Because at the end of the day, whether you are the coach for 6 months or for 10 years, you're still going to be black both before, during, and after that. You got to live yourself around that. So I wish all the luck in the world to Coach Raheem. I want him to succeed. Of course, I want our Falcons to succeed also. But just remember, we support you because you're black. You are black, Raheem. Do not get distracted. Do not get twisted. Do not get confused about that point. You're the black head coach. Black first. Black power. All right.